Scrooge and the Phantom now move away from the businessmen who were talking about Scrooge's death in a really cold and cruel way. And they're moving on to another scene, which might be seen as quite a confusing part of Stave Four, where they go and visit a character called Old Joe and Mrs. Dilber. And they're only in this small little section, but it is really quite important that we do focus on it and have a look. So they left the busy scene and went into an obscure part of town where Scrooge had never penetrated before. And it had a bad repute. So they're now in a bad neighborhood. They're in a risky part of town. Scrooge would never dare to go somewhere like this because of his status in society. And this little section, I think, was just really important for me to include because it is really important for the context of Victorian England with the contrast and the juxtaposition between the rich and the poor. Let's have a look at the description here of the poorer side of town and the streets and the conditions that some people lived in the green quote. You can circle all the adjectives, you can circle the hyperbole, and there's lots of examples of that here. The ways was foul and narrow, the shops and houses wretched, the people half naked, drunken, slipshod, ugly. Alleyways and archways like so many cesspools. Disgorge their offences of smell and dirt and life upon the straggling streets, and the whole quarter reeked with crime and filth and misery. Really powerful description there of this part of town. Nice list of 3 at the end there: crime, filth, misery. And so what we're going to see in the next scene isn't going to be something that would happen in the parts of town that Scrooge usually associates with. So they enter this den, okay, this shop. It's called a beetling shop. And that's where, you would make material or get like recycled material and make it into new fabrics. So it's sort of like a recycling shop in a way. They're in this den of infamous resorts, and there was a low-browed beetling shop below a roof where iron, rags, bottles, bones, greasy offal were bought. So a lot of secondhand and not very nice things being sold in this shop, really. Quite dirty. There's heaps of rusty keys, nails, chains, hinges, and files. And then enters Mrs. Dilber and 2 other people. Mrs. Dilber is Scrooge's housekeeper or his maid. So she's come straight from Scrooge's house. And let's have a look what she's got to say about him. Bearing in mind, he employed her and she worked in his house. What odds then? What odds, said the other woman to Mrs. Dilber. Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did. Again, we're not sure quite who they're talking about, but we can guess that it's Scrooge. He took care of himself. What have you done? If he wanted to keep them after he was dead, a wicked old screw, pursued the woman, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying, gasping out his last alone by himself. So a bit confusing here, but what they're saying is, he wasn't natural in life. He wasn't nice and kind like everybody else. He didn't have a family. He was alone. If he'd have been nice, if he'd have taken care of other people, if he'd have been welcoming, he wouldn't have been struck with death alone. And that horrible bit that I've highlighted in pink at the end there, instead of lying, gasping out his last, that means his last breath. So he died gasping out his last breath alone by himself. So that's a horrible sort of image of yourself when you're dying, that you're alone, gasping out your last breaths alone. But Scrooge would have expected that. But Scrooge now of Stave Four, he's horrified to sort of think that they might be talking about him.